Hello Niners, this video lesson is about point of division of line segments or getting the coordinates of a point that is between 2 points. Now always remember first that you label your endpoints as x1, y1, the other endpoint as x2, y2. And if you're looking for the coordinates of a point that is between the two, you label it only as x and y. And you can get the exact coordinates of x and y using the formula. X is x1 plus p1p over p1 p2 times the quantity x2 minus x1. The same thing with the y coordinate. Now what is very important in this formula is that this p1p over p1 p2 ratio. P1p is the length of the segment from one endpoint to the point that is in between, and P1 P2 is the length of the whole segment from P1 to P2. So to illustrate that, it's the ratio of this length over the ratio of the whole length, which is from P1 to P2. Now let's have an example problem. Given 2 points A 2, -3 and B -4, 7. So those are the points plotted. What are the coordinates of a point C collinear with the given points A and B such that the length of AC is thrice the length of BC? Now where would that point C possibly located? Okay, now one solution is this. There, so point C can actually be in between the two given points A and B. So there's C. Now, what should be satisfied in this problem is that AC, so the length from here to C, so this length is 3 times or thrice the length of BC. It's from BC is from this point, of course, to C. So this is 3 times that. So we will have that very important ratio in the formula. We use that. Now, first, again, you label your points x1, y1, x2, y2 for the endpoints. So since the endpoint here is b -4, 7, let's label it as x1, y1. And then point A, the other endpoint, let's label it as x2, y2. Now we're looking for C, which is the point in between, so it's xy. Now the formula again, we have the formula. X is equal to x1 plus p1p over p1 p2 times x2 minus x1. Okay, so remember we're solving for x. The unknown here is the point in between, so x x is equal to x1, so x1 would be -4 plus p1p over p1 p2. Now the ratio comes into play, very important. P1p would be from B to C because that's your x1 y1, so p1 would be B, so this is this length over the whole length. Now if this segment AC is 3 times, so remember this is 3 times, if this is 3, if the length of BC is 1, then AC must be 3 because it's thrice the length, right? If BC is 2, then segment AC would be 3 times, that would be 6. Now we're only after the ratio P1P over P1 P2, so the ratio would be from B to C, 1 all over the whole thing, which is 1 plus 3, 4. So the ratio would be 1/4. Now see that if you use this assumed lengths first, 2 over the whole thing, which is 8, you still get 1/4. So plus 1/4 times x2, which is of course 2, minus x of 1, which is -4, that becomes minus negative becomes plus 4. So just evaluate, just do this, and that's your x coordinate for point C. So this becomes -4 plus 2 plus 4 is 6 times 1/4, that will be 3 halves. And -4 plus 3 halves is -5 halves. So the x coordinate is -5 halves. Now solving for the y coordinate, so it's simply this formula that you replace x with y. So y would be y sub 1, in this case that's 7, plus the ratio again, which is 1/4. Remember, the ratio is from this point to C all over the whole length B to A. So it's 1/4. Or y sub 2, which is negative 3, times the quantity negative 3 minus y sub 1, which is 7. So just evaluate this. 7 plus negative 3 minus 7 is negative 10 times 1/4, that's negative 5 halves. So 7 plus negative 5 halves would be 9 halves. So the exact coordinates of point C is negative 5 halves and comma 9 halves. That's point C. Okay, next, there is another solution to the same problem. Remember, point C is collinear with A and B, therefore C could be there. So C could be here. This is our point C. Okay, and this time we're looking for point C and it's an endpoint. First, let's check if the conditions are satisfied. Is AC 3 times the length of BC? Where's AC? AC would be this length from here. That's AC, and BC is the segment, the shorter segment from C to B. And this should be 3 times that. Is that possible? Yes. So, setting up the formula again, this time, again I said, you label your endpoints. This time our endpoint is C and A. So let's label point A this time as x1, y1, and point C, which is what we're looking for, x2, y2. The point in between is this time is B, therefore it's xy. Again, the formula we had, x is equal to x1 plus p1p over p1 p2 times x2 minus x1, but this time we know x, which is negative 4. So negative 4 is equal to, our x1 is 2, that plus the ratio p1p over p1 p2, let's do that later, times x2 minus x1. x2 this time is what we're looking for, x2 minus x1 is, which is 2. Now let's go back to the ratio p1p over p1 p2. So we started from this point to the point in between, which is this, all over the whole length. That should be the ratio. Now if AC, according to the given, AC is thrice BC, so that means if AC is 3, then that makes BC only 1, satisfying that condition that AC should be 3 times BC, right? And what would be P1P over P1 P2? If you started here, P1 to P, so that's only 2 of the whole 3, right? So the ratio would be 2 over the whole length, which is 3. The ratio is 2/3. And just solve for x. So multiplying by 3 to get rid of the fraction, you get negative 12 is equal to 3 times 2, that becomes 6. Times 3, this cancels out, so it becomes 2. Distributing it, 2x sub 2 minus 4. So you have negative 12 is equal to 2x sub 2 plus 2. So 2x sub 2 equals negative 14. That means x sub 2 is equal to negative 7. Then again, solving for the y, just simply this time use the y coordinates for the formula. Y, this time the point in between is 7, is equal to y sub 1, which is negative 3, plus the ratio is still 2/3, of course, And then y2 minus y1 would be y2, that's what we're looking for, y sub 2 minus y sub 1, which is negative 3. So this becomes plus 3. So this is solving this, you simply get times 3, you get 21 plus negative 9 plus 2y sub 2 plus 6. So let's erase some part of the first solution. Just remember that we get negative 7 for our x sub 2. So 21, continuing with our solution for y, this is 2y sub 2 minus 3. So therefore 2y sub 2 is equal to 24, means y sub 2 is 12. So the coordinates of point C is negative 7 and 12. Our points. Now, of course, you need to do some problems on your own to have a mastery of this concept, point between 2 points. So this is my favorite part. I call this the best way to learn is to do it yourself part. Yourself. So I invite you to answer this on your own and try to get the correct answer, which is 13 thirds and negative 5 thirds. That's the problem. Okay, good day.